So, the first step in planting your potatoes is obviously getting them, and if you have any just bags of potatoes laying around in cupboards that have even been there for a few months and have maybe started to sprout, like some of these have, you see they've got these little sprouts coming out of them. Well, see if you have any of those, because those would be best. And it doesn't matter like what kind of potato they are, but best maybe like big potatoes like these. So look in your cupboards, because you could easily have some potatoes lying around that you could just use for free without having to buy any special potatoes. So if you're wondering what kind of potatoes these are just an organic bag of main crop potatoes that we just got from a supermarket. And when planting potatoes, it would be best if you've already chitted them, so this means gotten them to like make little sprouts. And to chit a potato, you literally just have to take it out of the fridge and just leave it in a dark cupboard for like even just a week and it will start sprouting. But you don't have to, so don't worry if you don't have chitted potatoes. So, when actually planting your potatoes, you want to make sure that the little sprouted bits are facing upwards, so pointing, so say you bury it like that, so that they're facing upwards, because then these will start sprouting upwards and will turn into leaves, and then roots will start sprouting out of the bottom. So just try and make sure your little sprouts are facing upwards when you bury it in the ground. And if, for example, like with this one, there's lots of sprouts at the top, but then there's also some sprouts on the bottom, well, just don't worry, just try and plant it with the biggest sprouts facing upwards, and you should be all good. And if any of you are wondering why there's this bamboo cane here, this is the area that I've marked out to put my potatoes in, so I'm just making sure I remember to stick within the boundaries. So, when choosing how to space your potatoes, I would say if you've got them in like a vertical line like I do, then leave about a 1 foot distance between them. And then in terms of width, that being length, in terms of how much space you should put between the rows, I reckon roughly about the same. If you want to cram a lot in, then maybe like 1/2 foot, but yeah, it depends. So I'll probably put like another one about here, and then keep the row going up like this. And if you've got it like this and you really want to get some more in, then you really want to get some more in because maybe you've got lots of potatoes like I do and you don't have that much space, then you might just be able to, if you carefully put one in the middle, then that might be far enough away that it just kind of goes in. So just roughly do it yourself, but I'll show you what it looks like after I've put them all where they're going to go, and then I'll bury them. There we go, so this is about how I spaced it. You've got about 9 or 10 potatoes in. They're about lengthwise 1 foot distance, and then between rows about another 1 foot with just a couple of potatoes in the middle. And yeah, that's all set, and now we just have to bury them and then water them, and then we're done. And in terms of the depth you want to plant, you want to be able to, so I've dug a hole with my trowel, and then you want to be able to put your potato in so that it's kind of quite deep. It's like just maybe an inch or two below the layer of the surface of the soil, and then you just want to put earth on top of it like this, just so that it's completely covered, and make sure that you can't see any of the little sprouts peeping up. And then you're good, and it will start sprouting. Since it's already sprouted, it will start properly growing up in maybe even a week. So yeah, so basically just do that with all the other ones. There we go. So we've completely put all the potatoes in the ground, and so now we just have to give it a good watering, and then we're done in the sowing, and then I'll come back in a few weeks or months, and then after that I'll be harvesting. So yeah, we're all done for now. So, an update on the potatoes. The last time that I was showing you this, I think they were either just sprouts or I'd only just put them in the ground. But anyway, now it's been quite a few months later, and the potatoes have grown really, really well. And you can see that by all this amazing bushy growth, and I added quite a lot of grass clippings to the base, to the earth, to all the earth around them, just to act as kind of a mulch and to also help retain moisture. So I think that helped quite well. I did then get backlash by snails hiding in it and then eating some of the stems, which wasn't ideal, but they've managed to keep going, keep growing, and they're doing really well, and I reckon it will be another month to 3 months until I can then dig them up and harvest all the lovely potatoes. So, we're back at our potato patch, and you can see it's not looking too healthy at this front section, but that's because I harvested out lots of potatoes yesterday just to see if they were ready, and they're a decent size, so I'm now going to harvest out the rest of these potatoes that are all back there and underground. And they got hit quite badly by slugs and snails and a couple of frosts, so they didn't grow as well as I hoped they would, but I need to harvest these out so I can put some kale seedlings in, so that's why I'm doing it now rather than maybe waiting a week or two more. And to harvest the potatoes, I've just got this big spade type thing, and I'm just gonna put it in the ground a little bit away from the potato plant that I want to harvest out, and then I'm just gonna press down with my foot so that it goes into the ground, and then just lever up a bit of earth, and you can already see just there's already a little potato, and so we can just take that out, and you can see that's really cool, and then we just put that in the little bowl that we've got for it. And often you have to dig down quite far to get some of the really deep down potatoes, so yeah, make sure you're digging up as deep down as you can and as much soil as possible. Whoa, look at this potato. This is an absolutely massive one considering the other sizes we've got. And when you're actually pulling up the plants, you want to find the plant that you want to pull up. So in this case we're going to do these ones back here. So you just find a stem, give it a little tug, and then just pull it forward. And then we'll go in with the shovel and actually dig through the ground when we pulled the plants out. And if we look at this potato, it's massive, but it's got this really weird kind of cut going through it, as if something else has been growing through it, or maybe there was like a rock that was stopping it from growing around. But I think if we just cut out that little bit, we can definitely still eat that. So you see, now we've done the pulling of the plant, we can now just go back through with our little spade and dig up the rest of the ground.